Breakfast with Cobb Colvin.
Trickstar Radio.
Right then, 22 minutes past 8 here on Trickstar Radio. That one going by the name of Serenity. How did that one come together?
So that one was actually like the main kind of bulk of the beat. There's like a sample in it, and like some snare rolls and like a bunch of drums that was actually put together by my mate Joel, who's the front man from Far Caspian. He spent like a bunch of time in the past like producing like so many hip hop beats for people, and every now and then he treats me to like a little sample.
You get one of the goodie bags.
Yeah, just like, you know, just something that he's put together that he, you know, that he's like, oh yeah, this could sound really cool for a song of yours. So I kind of just like used that as a springboard and then like built my whole arrangement around it, and yeah.
Nice. Well, it's definitely one that works. Again, it's a previous Trickstar track of the week. That one is Serenity. It's out now, I believe.
It is,
it's
yeah.
I always lose track. I lose track when stuff's out now, or when I've been sending it on dub or anything like that. But one thing I really want to talk to you about, as one of the kind of surprisingly many at this point, kind of music professionals that I've kind of met through the battle scene more than anything else.
Yeah.
I mean, it's wicked to see how many people have gone on to do like very kind of unique things within media and within music. But what I want to talk about yourself with is obviously you went pretty much from being a full-time student, obviously,
yeah,
to going pretty much into full-time media and music.
Yeah.
Now this is it's a leap that a lot of people aren't able to make. It's a leap that a lot of people are going to go, there's no way I'm going to be able to survive doing it. And when they go to uni and they'll go and do like a musical subject at uni, and then they'll come out of it and go, it's just too risky. I don't want to be able to do it. How did you find that transition, and how did you set yourself up to basically be able to live off it?
So, I mean, it is, in fairness, a bit of a nightmare. Like, it's not easy at all. But the way I was pretty lucky in the way that I was able to come out of uni kind of straight into mostly producing for a living, because it was like during my last year of uni that me and my mate Alessio, who is the bassist in Far Caspian, we kind of like started working together loads on production projects, and we kind of started our own little production duo. It was almost like a mini production company, and we were like finding clients and stuff who were like able to like pay like decent money to kind of get projects done. So that was kind of the like.
So when you say, sorry, just to interrupt, when you say production duo, do you mean kind of like do you mean ghost producing, or do you mean like finishing projects?
Just like all kinds of production really. So he's a multi-instrumentalist. I can like do a lot of the technical side of production, and like it's one of those things where it's like if you're like a creative person, like being from like music college, you tend to have like a fairly wide range of things that you are in some way capable of. So it's like kind of finding the other people that you can kind of have that jigsaw effect with, where like
to overlap and have the full thing.
So it's
covered,
kind of like between us we could cover pretty much all bases in terms of like if there was someone who just wanted to be a musician and wanted to have something made but didn't really know like what direction they were going in, between us we could cover all the instruments and the production and the songwriting and stuff and kind of pull projects together. And it's like once you've got like if you're like a complete polymath multi-instrumentalist genius, you can probably do it all yourself, but I can't do it all myself. So like having people around that you know who you can always pull from to kind of like make a whole project work. So literally as we were finishing uni, there were like 4 of our friends, and none of us wanted to like move home or move back in with our parents or like, you know, just go straight into the 9-to-5 world. So we kind of just decided, let's all just live together bring all of our equipment into the same house, try and put all of our skills together as much as we can, and just find all the gigs that we can do. So I did a bunch of production with Alessio. I was like learning to kind of mix and master as much as I could, and trying to pick up just on all of like the people that I'd met through music and various like battle rap friends, people I knew from the internet of like tweeting them being like, I'm a fan. And then, you know, if someone's like, oh, I really need a vocal mix done like tonight, can anyone hook me up? And you kind of just slide in the DMs and be like, and so I did like a bunch of stuff for free, but eventually you know, it can come back round. Like there's, you know, a friend of mine that I ended up doing like a load of vocal mixes for, just like because like a simple vocal mix on a rap tune can be like a 10-minute job. Like you're just throwing a compressor and an EQ on and bouncing it back.
9 times out of 10 as well, you'll probably have a a vocal. You'll have probably worked on a vocal previously that sounds very similar.
Yeah, exactly.
So you'll just save like the preset that you put over the file, then go, right, I'm going to tweak it for this. But it's pretty much already there.
Exactly. And then sort of after doing enough of them, it then came to a point where he was like, all right, I now have a whole album that needs mixing with like all of the instruments and everything. And I'm like, okay, now this is like a serious project. Now you can like properly pay me for it, and then that can be like a gig. But you just gotta put in. Just gotta reach for absolutely everything. Like, you can't afford to box yourself in to any kind of specific role. Just like any skill that you even slightly have, you can learn to get better at it on the job. And I did, to be honest, a lot of bluffing in terms of like how capable I am of doing this thing. I wasn't that good of a mastering engineer when I like agreed to master someone's album, but it's like I took the upfront like payment, I spent it on some new monitors that I could actually master on, and then I like learned to master as I went along. And as long as you've like got the ear for music and like for what sounds good, you can just like,
it's always stuff you can pick up. And I think this is definitely something I agree with, this idea of like everyone is capable of multiple things.
Of course, yeah.
And I think if you're boxing yourself in, if you're, for instance, the term full-time musician, I will tell you right now on air, 99.9% of full-time musicians don't just make music as their full-time thing. They're doing art stuff, they're doing video stuff, they're doing mixing and mastering stuff, they're doing stuff behind the scenes.
Even now, like going on tour with the Far Caspian guys, there's people who you like see on these tours who most people in the public would just assume are full-time musicians making crazy money. You're just in a band, you're just turning up and being a rock star or whatever. But these guys are photographers, they're tour managers, they're guitar techs. So like some guy who's like the front man of a big exciting band with thousands of fans, 1 month, the next month he's standing at the side of the stage for some other artist tuning his guitars before he goes on. And there's so many of those little roles within the music industry that people just fill all the time. So
and I think even more now. I don't think there's ever been as many roles. There's never been like that. I mean, even the term social media manager, that's a moderately new role.
Yeah.
That like content creation and all these things here, they're all things that you can get involved with. It's just basically what the point I'm trying to get to here is that when you go, the term full-time music very rarely means,
of course,
being a musician 24/7.
At music college, they always called it a portfolio career. It was one of those like buzzwords that they kept like beating us over the head with. It's like you need to build a portfolio. So, but it's so true in the sense that like if you're trying to sort out your branding as a musician as well, and you don't necessarily want to like pay however much for a logo, you can kind of just end up figuring out how to put something together in Photoshop yourself. If you can put together like a decent brand look for yourself in Photoshop, then you can do it for other people. So it's just one of them. It's like there's so many things that need to be done if you're going to have a music career. If you learn to do bits of them yourself, then you can just end up doing them for other people. And like,
I think this is the thing I put online all the time on Twitter specifically. I put something up, I think yesterday along this line in regards to like doing video content and stuff like that. The amount I probably would have spent this year on video content is up in around like the 3, 4, 5 grand sort of mark. But the fact that you kind of gone, right, I'm going to learn to do this myself.
Literally,
learn to do stuff yourself so you don't have to pay for it, and then eventually people will pay you to do it.
If I had paid for pretty much any of the stuff that I do for myself, I would be bankrupt. Like years ago. Like studio time is crazy expensive. Get yourself a mic and an interface. Figure it out yourself.
Just work it out. Like, you know what I mean? There's no rush. Just work it out. The other thing I've just realised is we're saying learn to do everything yourself, and we're both going to be out of a job very soon. We're not going to have anything to do.
Don't learn to do everything yourself. Hire me and hire Jay, hire Kovu.
And we'll get some stuff sorted for you. Okay, just a quick one. Obviously, you are on tour. What have you? We've just gone on tour. What do you think the biggest struggle is going to be?
The biggest trouble?
Struggle.
Sleep.
Yeah.
It's always sleep, because you come off stage at like, especially with headline tours, like you come off stage at like 10:30, 11, and just the adrenaline and the buzz. And I don't drink either or anything like that, so I can have absolutely no chemical assistance in getting to sleep. So I've got to like calm myself down each time, especially when like you're sleeping on sofas and stuff. So yeah, I'm just gonna have to get my naps in and get my coffee going.
When you're going to pretty much be on like an up and down. It's an experience, but again, that's part of what touring is. People tend to think that touring is literally just turning up and being on stage and you just magically get there. No, it's a lot of travelling and weird sleep.
Yeah, because we're doing Europe like towards the end of the month, and there's no flights involved. We're all piled into a van. One of the days we're driving from Amsterdam to Poland. We're just like nine and a half hours just on the road. So I'll get loads of reading done. Which is good.
Okay, it's good stuff. Right, we're going to jump into our track of the week next. This one comes from a Movement. This is Gucci Demon. It's a refix of B Young's Gucci Demon, which came out earlier this year. 32 minutes past 8 here on Trickstar Radio. I'm live inside the building with a man like Harry J. Robinson. Don't go anywhere.
Waking Up Brighton.
Breakfast with Cobb Colville.